Hey guys, welcome to Denny's. Today I'm gonna kind of go through the pinpoints, the highlight points of the dev live that we had April 9th around 7 p.m. It's an hour in, they're doing a 10-minute break, so I wanted to make a quick little recap video to kind of go over all the highlights real fast. So first and foremost, they started the stream with the key live issues. The key live issues are basically the Descendant balance patch. They apologize for the, they understand the reaction to the Inez nerf. Obviously, a lot of opinions about that everywhere. But yeah, that is the first thing they're talking about. The Void Erosion Purge is getting a rework. So basically, you guys probably saw the video already. They're reworking how it kind of feels, how it works. We'll go into that a little bit later as well in this little highlight video because they're adding like a different challenge mode and stuff. And then they are putting the external components core update on hold. So basically, they were planning to announce that, or sorry, they were planning to add cores to components, but they said that it would be a little bit too broken, so that is why they're putting that on hold for the core components. And then it looks like let's jump to the next little highlight here. Looks like they spent a decent amount of time on that. Okay, so the table of contents for the update, they went over this as far as what we're going to expect for the update. So Ultimate Blair was shown off. I'll kind of show some images, obviously, that they showed on the live stream for Ultimate Blair. I can say right now that Ultimate Blair is looking very promising. We'll show some videos as well. But I want to show the image. They said his story is going to be like kind of like comical relief, but also there is hints of seriousness in there, and it is a part of the greater Descendant story. So yeah, he's going to have a little romance, but also he is going to have some serious in there. And it looks like he's a little charmer there. We can see a potentially a female Descendant in the background. And then they went over the different abilities for Blair, so we're going to jump to that now. So what they've done is shown off the, basically the Transcendent mod. So to put it lightly, they've made Blair a lot more mobile, or to put it quickly, they've made Blair a lot more mobile, and they've also made him deal a lot more what seems like burst damage, and it seems like it might be very fun to mess around with. So he spawns in some ads here, and he goes to the first ability. You can already see the first ability with the Transcendent mod is like a blast of fireballs, and it does a ton of damage. And then the fourth ability with the Transcendent mod, it like locks onto the target. You do like a little spin. It does a pretty big amount of damage. And then it also puts a huge burn on them, and obviously you're critting at the same time. That's hitting for like millions, you can see. So yeah, it looks like it's going to be, the cooldowns are obviously really quick as well. We don't quite know the build. He showed it there for a brief second, but yeah, Blair looks amazing, and that Transcendent mod looks awesome, but this one is actually the one that I think is going to spark people's interest the most. So this is going to replace his third and his first ability, basically make him kind of like all the Descendants that are really strong right now as far as speed. It's going to make it so that his first ability, you basically lay down fire wherever you're standing, and then you also get a modification to your third ability that makes it so instead of a straight line of fire, you get a kind of like a wave in front of you. This is supposed to, I think, do more damage as well, that third kind of like wider arc. But yeah, it looks very cool here. Let's see if we can skip to, yeah, we can see him use it real quick. So right there, you can see he presses his first ability. You can see the duration's quite long, too, on his buff bar. It puts down a ton of fire. The fire lasts a decent amount of time. It doesn't last... again, the build we can see has like skill extension, but that's all he has as far as duration. And then the third ability he's going to show off as well, I believe. There it is right there. So third ability is kind of like in front of you. Just does a giant amount of damage, and then it also leaves, obviously, the burn on them. Looking really cool as far as mobility for Blair, and obviously, after the recent buffs, he's very strong still, so that's looking very good. They also showed off his ultimate skin, so there's his base skin, and there's the premium skin you can purchase, which they also show off the spawn animation, but I don't think I'll be able to find that. It's like in a little section where he goes back to the Albion. But yeah, really cool looking skin. It's bugging out a little bit right there, but he goes back to the game and it ends up working out, I think, like right here. Maybe not, actually. We're going to talk about the components. So yeah, really cool looking skin. And then the components. So the components, this is a very big piece of content they added. I want to briefly go over them, but to put it as brief as I can, guys, they're adding 5 components. And I'm telling you right now, out of all the components they've added, it looks like these components will actually be the most usable, aside from Slayer, that we've seen introduced into the game. I don't know if the numbers are final. The numbers look absolutely crazy. We'll take a brief look at one. So, for example, Firebrand, it gives you 35% skill effect range for the 2 set, and then it gives you minus 5% move speed, but you burn, whenever you burn people, you shred their fire resistance by 30% for the 4-piece. That's crazy. Already, that's really cool, and obviously a giant amount of damage for any fire users. And then I want to talk about the Plague one, and then I'll kind of skip this because the other ones are very good, but it's like for tanking. It's also for non-attribute, and the numbers might not be final. But yeah, Tech Singular for the 2-piece, and then you also get 36% toxic skill power for the 4-piece, minus 24% shield, unfortunate, and then you've got power modifier of 21%. The other news that they were talking about is with the, as you can see on the tooltips here, for example, the fire rate. This one's going to be good for Glay and Serena. I'm sure everybody's going to be talking about this one, but they've added additive and multiplicative symbols at the end of every number in the game now. So for components, for mods, for everything, they've added these kind of like plus or X, depending on if it's multiplicative or additive. And they've added a new defense mod that's going to convert a little bit of defense. They've added a new Veil Analyzer mod here that is going to convert weak point attacks and increase your attribute attack. But if you miss, you get a little bit of a punishment, like a Kiss Curse mechanic. Also kind of replaces Voltia. If you add this to a weapon, it's going to do exactly what Voltia does as far as the Arcane Shield. It's not going to chain lightning everywhere, but it's going to one-shot the Arcane Shields most likely. So yeah, a nice little boost to elemental damage if you land weak points there. And then I believe there was, I don't think there was any more actually. That's the last mod that they talked about. And then as far as Void Erosion, so I'm going to show off the medals that they brought up. So for Void Erosion, what they're doing is they're moving the leaderboard-esque type of challenge or content to a singular game mode. It's going to be challenge mode Void Erosion, and what you're going to be able to earn from that is these medals. Pretty much nothing else. They said once you do it once on a Descendant, that's it. You're not going to really earn any more rewards. But for hitting the top 100 of that Descendant on the leaderboard, you will receive a Descendant for that, a medal for that Descendant, excuse me. And this will be displayed next to your name, as you can see here, which is very cool, I think, because what they're doing is making it so to 1 through 30 of the Void Erosion is going to be basically like the farming mode, right? You're going to go in there, you're going to get your cores. That's how you're going to get all your cores to modify your weapons. This is going to be once you've perfected your builds, you're going to jump into this, try to get as good as you can, get that reward. I don't quite know what the reward was other than the medal. I think they said they were just going to be giving something per Descendant you completed on, but the medals was secondary. But again, there's no rewards after that, one completion. And then obviously the medals are only if you get, or excuse me, these type of medals are only if you get the top 100 of that respective Descendant. But it looks really cool. And they said that it lavishes up as you level it up and get higher and higher, which is really cool too. So I'm looking forward to the medals for sure. Big news as well, skipping over to the Reactor Enhancement. So Reactor Option Enhancement, I have some interesting news. So they didn't discuss Reactor rerolls at all. They did not discuss Reactor rerolls in the live stream. Let me know in the comments if anybody knows anything or saw anything that I didn't. But what they have discussed is the Reactor Enhancement. So what this is a far less RNG version of what we have for the weapon system, except instead of like just randomly selecting, I guess, like options, we spend materials like quantum crystals and compounds, for example, here, and that is going to give us a guaranteed upgrade. As you can see, it's going to go from 0.93 to 0.95 for the skill duration, which is not much at first, but you can get all the way up to the max stat. You're going to be able to grind obviously if you have nano compounds now and quantum crystals, you can just get it to your max stat most likely. There is another mat that you might have to farm they were discussing in Sigma Sector, but you can get up to your max stat on your reactors. So no more, it sounds, I don't know if you can, they said that we were supposed to be able to re-roll these. They put it in the roadmap. However, potentially could be a case of maybe you don't re-roll them, maybe you still go and get them, but you don't have to worry about the rolls. So if you just like get a double blue roll that's like crit damage and Colossus and then you go upgrade it, it might be a lot of materials, but at least you have that option. And it's so much better than just endlessly going for double golds. This is so much better, and this is the exact system that we needed. Maybe re-rolls would have been a bit too strong. Again, don't know if they're adding them or not. It sounded like they were initially, but now I can't tell. I might have missed something. Again, let me know in the comments. But yeah, reactor enhancements look crazy. Also can do it for components. They showed off the component, the piece that you get for dismantling components, you're going to be able to increase the rolls on these. So again, if you have like a really good one that has like a blue or purple roll, you're going to be able to max the stats out on it just by grinding. Fantastic change. Definitely needed it. Another form of farming added to the game as well, but in the form of guarantee rather than gambling, right? You can get a critical success. So instead of, increasing from 0.073 to 0.075, you can increase from 0.073 to 0.077. Oh my goodness, you waste less mats basically. But either way, yeah, the stream is back, but I am going to finish the video as far as the updates really quick. So the void shard removal, so the quality of life improvements, they're removing void shards from the game entirely. Hard special operations have had their unique arcade factor, so basically just the tuning XP increased. It's supposed to be the same level as the 400%. Sigma sector is getting better Descendant weapon EXP gain, also supposed to be very similar to the 400%. And then they are adding the energy control core. This is basically going to be the thing that you use to actually enhance the reactors or components, the rolls on those. And then this is actually big news, and apparently people knew about this, but I did not know they were going to be doing this. When crafting the same weapon, effectively, if you have a max level unique weapon and you craft it again, that weapon that you craft is going to be max unique level. So that means no more farming, 10 copies. Instead, you're only going to have to farm 6 copies if you want 2 max level unique weapons, if that makes sense. It's kind of hard to say, but basically, if you max a unique weapon and you craft one again, yeah, it comes maxed already. And this is going to hurt a lot of people because people spent a lot of time farming weapons, like 4 or 5 times. But the people that didn't do that, if they want to get a weapon the second time, there you go. Also, the core is going to be unlocked already. So if you already unlocked the core for the weapon, you don't have to do it again. You will have to add cores to it, fire rate and stuff. But there you go. Serena is going to be allow the wings to be hidden. Photo mode, filter, blah, blah, blah. That stuff is all the smaller quality of life. Then they went over the new player. So moral of the story, new players are going to be getting to the end game much quicker. It's going to be a little bit easier, and it's going to guide you a little bit better as far as the new players. And Ultimate Bunny is going to be easier to farm, as well as there's like a web guide integration that they're going to be adding. And then we've got new skins. So the corn skin, as you can see, you got a little helmet for the corn. Then you got a little suit for the corn. It's corn. It's a big knob. It's a big lump with knobs. Anyway, there's some new skins again. This is going to be the probably their big money maker. A lot of people are waiting for these skins. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are on all the skins. I know that these are supposed to be like representative of some like animes, I guess. I don't watch a whole ton of anime, but I do know about them. But yeah, definitely let me know what you guys think about that. And then events. So to wrap it up, there will be an event that's a month long until the May update. We're actually going to talk about the May update to wrap it up. Sorry. But yeah, really good event, a bunch of loot, catalysts, activators, gold, all the classic stuff that you'll see from events. This is going to be the time to play if you plan on playing, most likely, because these events look kind of insane. And then we've got the Spring Awakening as well, another event that gives you 1,000,000 gold and a surprise egg emote. Then you've got the 14 days, get Ultimate Bunny or 2 Haley skins. This is actively what's going on. So if you guys log in for 14 days right now, anytime before June 12th, you'll be able to get Ultimate Bunny for free or 2 Haley skins, including the made Haley skin. Then we've got the May update. So this is the last bit of information for the update. We've got dynamic motion, jiggle physics. We will showcase it really quickly after I go over this. Arcade tuning socket. They're going to be adding little nodes to the north and the east and the west of the arcade tuning tree for build diversity. So you can socket in certain things. It'll increase the build diversity for our Descendants. They're adding Ice Maiden, May 22nd. It sounds like it's going to be May 22nd. They're adding the hard spec ops rotation, Echo Swamp, and Stair Land back. Party Finder system is supposed to take place. It's going to be a little bit easier to get groups going. View other Descendants, which means we're going to be able to inspect other builds on Descendants, which is fantastic. Then we've got the core item change. What this means is we're going to be able to change our cores. Say you don't want 1,000 yellow cores from farming Void Erosion, you actually want 1,000 green cores for fire rate. Well, if you combine all these cores into those cores, you're going to get those cores. That's basically what that means, if that makes sense. All the cores that you don't want can be combined into cores that you do want. I'm pretty sure I'm right on that, but let me know if I'm wrong in the comments. And then core weapon option multi-hit stat addition. Cores are getting multi-hit. It might be the meta, it might not. Fire rate's pretty good. We'll see. Inversion reinforcement preset, which is nice. should have came. I think that should come sooner, but it is what it is. Preset order change and then photo mode, sticker, and frame. We'll take a look at the Jiggle physics really quickly to show you guys what we're dealing with on the Ultimate Bunny. They didn't have anybody to show except for Ultimate Bunny. There it is. You can kind of see it. If you want to replay the video and go back and look at it, feel free. I'm not going to show too much because video is already longer than I'd like it to be, but we're going to hop over to Serena. They did some stuff that they actually had to stop doing this because the director said, okay, it's getting a little bit too much. That's what he said. So it was pretty funny and everybody was laughing. Haha. Yeah, dynamic motion. There's dynamic motion. And then that wraps it up. The next dive live stream is going to be May 11th at PAX East in Boston. Him and the interpreter are going to be going to that. And that's the video, guys. Let me know all of your thoughts on what's coming April 17th in the comments. Also, let me know about what you think of the May update as far as what's planned down in the comments, too. I appreciate you guys for watching this far. Don't forget to follow me on Twitch. I just did this live on Twitch. We're going to hop back over to the Q&A. And, yeah, I'd love to hear from you guys. But you guys have a great rest of your day and night wherever you're at. And I will see you in the next one. Peace out, guys. Goodbye.